Strategies to make you the most money when listing your properties. Okay, so something that's been coming up quite a bit, I thought that I would share with you guys a little bit. I've had a lot of opportunities over the years to list properties multiple different ways. So for an example, I think the easiest example to give you is a waterfront property. And in our MLS, you can list waterfront as a waterfront home, and you can also list it as a residential home. Easy peasy. So if someone goes in and does a residential search, they're going to see your property. If someone goes in and does a waterfront search, they're going to see your property. So what I'm alluding to is a little bit deeper than that. And this actually came up this morning with a client who has 5 acres. It's an off-grid property. And originally when he bought it, it had a hickory shed on it that had been partially converted into a living quarters. And since my client has owned it, he's built out that living quarters more. So finished off the flooring, insulated the home completely, turned it into, it's a hunting cabin for him. It's something to where he's actually been renting it out on Hip Camp, but it's also a shed that's on skids, and if needed, he could send a truck in there, pick it up, and it would be gone tomorrow. So he called me and he said, "Hey, I'm thinking about selling this property. What are some thoughts around it?" And one of the things that we discussed was listing it multiple different ways. So the benefit there is you put more eyeballs on it. Just like if you were selling apples at a grocery store, you want as much demand for apples as possible. And so one of the things that we talked about, probably see this listing next year, is listing the property at 150 and the property with the house at 175. So you get people that are looking for vacant land, see this 5 acres listed for 150. People that are looking for a home under $200,000 are also going to see this property listed at 175. The people that are looking for homes under 200 would not have seen that property if we only listed the vacant land by itself. So that's one way. Another example, I've got basically a seller who has a direct connection with manufactured homes. And through a long story, we ended up buying property and we were going to set a house on there, and we ended up selling the house in a different spot. So now what we have is we have the property listed vacant by itself, and it's actually 2 lots. We have one, what they call a ghost listing. So the house isn't really there. You see it all the time with new construction. We've got one ghost listing that is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and it's listed in the $200,000 range. And we've also got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath that's listed in the $300,000 range. Now, why this is so important is because there's plenty of options that people can do for these homes because they're not there, right? So it's got to get built in another state, shipped over here. It's kind of like getting someone into the car dealership with the low price bare bones car. But in this case, it's something that we can actually do. Like, we can put that house there. It's not a smoke and mirrors game. But if we just had the 3-bedroom, 2-bath, we might not get someone that's looking for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath because their price point might not be that high, right? They might be capped off at $300,000, and because our 3-bed, 2-bath is listed at $322, they may never see that 2-1 option, even though it's something that we could get them, okay? And what I told my seller was a lot of people want that 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Might be family, might be multifamily, might just be someone that, doesn't want to share a bathroom with their spouse, for crying out loud. So by having 3 listings, and all 3 of them say, on the 2 ghost house listings, you can buy the vacant lot by itself. On the vacant lot, we have home options, right? And so by getting multiple listings out somehow, some way, different price points, here's the thing on the houses, right? So with a 2-bed, 1-bath that's under 200,000, someone might not see that if they've got a 2-bathroom filter on their search criteria. Okay. So we want to be as inclusive as possible. And we've done this tons of different ways over the years. I've got a property right now that is 10 acres, and the sellers are having it split. So at one juncture in time, and we're under contract with it right now, if for some reason it falls out, you'll see this come up. We were going to have 3 listings on that. We're going to have the house on 10 acres, which is going to be the highest price point. We're going to have the house on 5 acres, which is going to be a smaller price point for house. And then we're going to have 5 acres vacant, which is, again, it's even lower. And then within all of those listings, they're going to mention the other ones. Hey, you want to buy this 5 acre house? Great. If you want to buy the lot next to it, make it bigger, that's an option as well, right? And so a great strategy that we've used over the years has been make as many listings as you can with this. If you had, let's say, a 100-acre listing, you could have infinite possibilities, but you might have the 100-acre listing, you might have a 20-acre listing, and you might have a 5-acre listing. And then that puts the listing in front of people, more eyeballs, and that's really what it's about. So marketing strategy, you got to be ethical about it. You got to make sure you're putting something out there that you can actually stand behind or that you can actually accomplish. Don't put a 100-acre listing out there and a 5-acre listing if it's 20-acre minimums, right? Because then if you're advertising that you've got a 5-acre listing just to get, that's wrong. That is no good. Don't do that. If the property's not split, can't do it either. But the most amount of listings, the better.